if you look at the word green in the Hebrew, that's the fire of the law that we already released. It's right in the middle of fire, fire, and then you have green and green grass. Don't touch the green in the earth. Really what that's saying, don't touch those that have become the measure. We've already shared that.
Well, didn't you say that's Strong's 3?
Strong's 3 is green, but more something to the Aramaic. And if I go into the fire of the law, I could but again,
well, we don't need to. We're going somewhere.
We can answer that question, but it's really interesting because you have in the middle of fire is green. In the Strong's definition, I've already extracted this out, and that's why I started pulling it apart. And this is what Nebuchadnezzar was eating when he was in the field as a bull. He was eating of the green grass, and what he was eating, he was ingesting the fire law, the law of love.
Right.
So he would be humble enough, and so that's what the green is. They're missing it. They're interpreting it as the green act. They're going, if we don't.
So really, going back to Strong's 3, it talks about one who is built.
Yeah.
That's green because it's Aleph Bet.
Yes.
The one, Aleph, that has gone through the Bet Tov, since the symbol Bet is a Bet Tov. So it's one who's gone through the 222.
Yes.
That has been made green.
Yes.
This is the green agenda that we should be following.
Yes. Eating the law of fire or the law of love. It's a cosmic law of expansion and contraction. As you are macro, so it is micro. As it within, so without. As the world breathes, so do you. Because you are on the earth as part of it, as a garden. You're healing it or you're a hindrance. Because the healing of the earth is directly related to us becoming healed.
Right, and so you're going back to Isha.
And how do
because it's Aleph Sheen.
Right, and how do we do that? Is we find the pieces that we've forgotten, and that is the remembering.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So go to Genesis 30:33 real quick, and we're just going to take a quick peruse of this verse, because I can't go by this verse.
Right, no.
So remember, this is based off of the two occurrences of Gan, a theft.
Okay.
Or a deception.
Or the Ganab.
Ganab.
Okay.
So we have now something. So again, in this, so will answer for me. But again, we already know what that is, right? So we'll answer.
So tying into things that we've talked before, the Temple of Answers.
Right.
Bet and Noth.
But go into that. So now what do we have? So what will answer? Vavayin.
Right. So being connected to Mother in humility, the revelation will come.
Right. So
and it's connected to the Bet, which is Bet Tov, the 222, the journey of love, where you will be given power. The power of the right hand, which is what we were just talking about, that Yod.
Right, and we could spend a lot of time right here, but again, humility will be the answer.
This is built-in power.
This is showing you again. I'm connecting right now the beginning of the Gan, because we still have to run all the way through what's going on right here, because I want to do this for it. But I want then I'll do a verse in the end too. But this is now showing the end. This is now 30:33, and it's saying, who will answer? This is the answer. Humility will be the knowing. This will be the risen nature of love, the revelation that connects the Bet Tov of love as the completed vision of Father.
Which is the built that have power.
Yes.
So building power,
and then
becoming that.
Then that's defined as righteousness. You are now completed in Strong's number 6666, right? So now you have a turned nature of righteousness.
And it's interesting that it's 6666. That's 4. Quadration, the quadrated ones. That's huge, because this is going to connect us to the 144,000.
Right.
Because there's 4 6s. Connect.
Yeah, they're fully quadrated now.
Vav.
And this righteousness has an added tav yod on the end.
Right.
So this is now you've connected, and my righteous love is now established.
Exactly. Right. Because now they have the mark of the Father, the mark of the Kayutha, the signature sine wave frequency change of the one love.
Right.
And they are giving this vision to you.
Yeah.
They are giving the power, means, and direction to be of this one love.
This is the answer to the question of what was stolen. This is the answer to the question. Again, deception and the serpent
beguiled me. But
again, the serpent removed from me.
So that I would have to find it.
So that I'd have to find it. It's all perspective.
So in other words, in the choosing to come as the Elohim,
right?
The serpent had to come to say, you know who you are, but the whole reason why you came was to find love, right?
Yes.
So the removal, the Nakash came and made them eat of the tree of forgetting so that they would have to live in duality, good and evil, to be able to find and experience love in all its facets, gathering all the heart pieces.
Yes, all the hearts.
All the hearts.
All the hearts.
Through experience.
And if you look at the gematria,
right?
the
Through experience.
yes, the gematria and the anointing is the same gematria. Don't need to go there right now, but it's the gentleness of seeing it in a higher perspective for the purpose of there is no right, there is no wrong. It is simply the experience and where you are in your arc building to see you're either right, left, or you're in between.
Right.
And so if you're in between, then you're able to see in the midst of the garden.
Right, which would be Tyvek, which is Tav Vav Kaf. Right. Tav, the mark, Kaf, by grasping the revelatory language in the midst, in the middle of you.
In the midst of yourself, you are the garden, and that's where Mother and Father dwell, and you're able to converse with them and walk with them in the cool of the morning.
Right.
You're able to be in that place because you're woven them together as one. That is right perspective, that is right standing, that is right measure, and that's what's coming in the fuller version. Those that are doing it right now, well done. Those that are still in process, great job, continue. But this is exactly what's transpiring. So that's the midst, in between.
Yeah, and so I have that right here. I just pulled it up, in the midst.
And,
Tav Vav Kaf.
And if you want to tie it to wisdom, then tie it to Strong's 999.
999?
Yep. Because if we don't comprehend this...
Oh, we've already done that. Oh, yeah, it's Binah.
Right.
We've already discussed the Binah factor.
So that's the understanding or the comprehension that allows you to discern, but it also means between.
So I'm going to trace it back down.
And
so
you can go to 998, and
yep.
It should say between.
Yep, and it's understanding.
Right.
And it's from Bayin.
So this is how we turn the nature.
So again, this one had a hay on it. So the reason why they have understanding is they have the revelation of the Father's teaching.
This is the reveal when the book of Revelation of Har Meggido or Har Meggido, that they have ascended, because that's what it means. It means Har Meggido means the mountain of ascension or the mountain of revelation. It's not this spooky thing. It's these that have ascended Mother's mountain are Har Meggido. They are of the bitter works, and they're standing in anticipation and expectation of the encounter of Father at the top of the mountain. They stand as an ensign, a beacon, and a sign.
Right. So just finishing up with Binah, and we'll go back there, to separate mentally and understand. But again, that's in the flesh, right? So it's bet, to build through love that will give you the power while you're in the flesh. But where did we just come from? The next one has to do with understanding, but it's knowledge and wisdom, right? Mm-hmm. So in this case, now we have an understanding.
Yes.
For inner standing, because it's now the spiritual path that now is revealing to you.
Yeah.
So there's a difference. Someone might have understanding and discernment in their fallen flesh, but then there's another person that has understanding because of their spiritual journey.
Right.
That the Father's revelation will come.
Right.
So those who have understanding in the world, the things of flesh, they might have wisdom or understanding in the world matters, but there's those who have understanding and inner standing due to the spiritual matters.
And I call that comprehension that allows you to overstand the world.
Exactly.
And this changes perspective. Yes, absolutely. So let's go back to 3033 real quick and roll, because I want to get through without rushing anything so we can break this up. But I want to break this down because there's so much wealth in here. So these are the righteous. These are the Zadik of Melchizedek, right? These are kings of righteousness. But now they have love. Father's love is now, and the power means in direction of Father's love is on the suffix. So that's what showing. And this is done in time. They built this in time. They built,
because Yom, Yod Vav Mem, is time, or is the day. It actually means the day. So they said it's in time, but in the day.
So they filled themselves up. They built themselves up in the vision of Mother. They used the power, means, and direction to walk straight, and they filled themselves up in humility to become that exact sealed measure of Father. That what is sealed up is now revealed to them, and that's what's going on right now.
And what's really fascinating is there's Yom, right? If you take Yod Mem, that's Yam means the sea. Mm-hmm. This is a tying to Asherah, Ashtoreth, Astarte, right? All of the stuff we've already talked about. The difference is that they have the Vav in the middle, which means they've connected to their heart.
Yeah.
as one that has been built, Bet Tov, through the 222 process.
Right. So these ones are mother. Again, we have Mars in separation, so they've separated the bitter.
So people can see it. It's Memresh.
So we have,
and in the middle is Het.
Right.
To separate.
Right. And so the Het, by the way, is brotherhood, sisterhood language. It's this is or family, right?
And it's also Het is the number 8.
Right.
New beginnings.
And so this Memresh now, Mar, the bitter work, has been rightly divided and separated. And this divided one knows, and they stand right between these pieces of mother and the head. And that's the best place to, in this earth, this is about as high as you can get, is knowing this revelation until the Father comes to encounter us.
Well, and here's something that's amazing too. It means outside, right? Mm-hmm. But the way it's spelled in the constituent letters means those that are of the living, Chai, okay, that are marked with the sign of the covenant from those that are outside of that. So it's the fence that separates those who are of the living and in the covenant of love from those who are not.
Right.
That's the dividing.
Yeah.
Loveful or loveless.
Yes. Yeah, you've separated it out, and you're knowing what is in all parameters. Again, I see macro, micro. So yes, we can see things on a lesser narrative, we see things on a higher narrative, and we have to be able to weave them because the world is saying one story, and then the kingdom's saying another, and we're weaving macro, micro. So 3588, this says when this happens, but show 3587 for me. Exact same vowel points, exact same spelling. That we need to know when what happens, because it's just a simple word, right? It's a conjecture or a conjunction word, but we need to associate key when this burn happens. We're living in the burn right now.
And you can see there's your sackcloth.
There's your sackcloth, and this is what's being produced right now. Is the sackcloth is being produced, and
sack. The consuming fire of the king, where you compress light in the circle of time.
Yes.
That was once hidden, that is now revealed.
We're going to go into that a little later on, but I will tell you this: like what's being produced right now is the judges of old, because I was shown even this morning that this is why the judges wear black and they sit in the seat of honor, and we call them honor. It's not; it's the world's perspective. Sackcloth is the acclamation and the ingathering, gamal. That you're weaned and risen into the formation of being fully consumed in righteous love, which is all consuming because it's fire. And this is an ash heap. This is why we showed Epher and turning the nature. You have become now blackened. And this goes right back to Genesis 1:2. When the Spirit hovered over the water,
the Tohu Bohu.
It's black.
Right.
But you become connect with Spirit again, and now you're white and black.
So duality.
This is duality made whole again, because we're walking the way of white right now. Purity and innocence has to know, so it can be sealed partnered again with the black.
Right.
This is why we have a white pope and a black pope.
Right.
The chessboard, the checkerboard.
Right.
This is what's going on. So we're walking the way of white.
Well, even the Masonic lodges, they have their black and white checkered floor.
But how do you get the black? The black is because the black in the beginning, the Spirit hovered over the waters.
Right.
And now we have this, and it's not, and it hovered. It's a very peaceful hovering. When you break it down, it was calm. It hovered calmly over the waters as one. But now we went into the experience of creation for the purpose of walking the way of white. We're only joined with the black when we fully comprehend the white, and then we're brought into the full measure of judication, and this is where you're adorned in the black again, but you're white within and you're adorned on black without.
So that's the symbol yin yang.
Right.
Really? And the narrow path in between is right in the middle between the potential of white and black.
It's the 0 point of the nothing that is aligned, but you can't even discern what is what because they're both blended in perfect harmony.
Right.
And this is where they're robed and we sit in honor. That is the premise as to why love is sitting on our picture of the love of law, that while we're sitting in the place of adjudication, because these ones are now robed and they're sitting in the seat of Moshe in the place of honor in the robes of sackcloth. And we're going to break that down a little bit. But let's run through this verse real quick. That was, we did a little
so
leapfrog.
The burning.
So now we're instead of the burning, so now we're the subject comes.
And this is to come and go.
This is to come and go. But now we have a tav on the prefix.
Right.
Right? So now love is coming and going as mother's love. And that ayin lamed.
Well, it's interesting because this also means to bring in, cause to come in, and to gather.
Right.
To gather the pieces, gather all the hearts.
This ayin lamed, it's of, and it's, again, it's resonating
We skipped over that.
Oh.
The tav, the word subject comes, it means to come and gather.
Yes.
So I'm just, and to bring to pass. So just to let you know, I mean, I don't want to skip over that.
No. Bo is a big word. And
the ones that have been built and filled up, connecting to their heart as one.
Yeah. Yeah, we might even get through this one verse. I don't know. But so, yes. And then the ayin lamed, that this is now the knowing. This is the ayin. This is the ga'ah that was in the garden. This is now a knowing light. This is one, that those two letters together, very high vibration, saying complete knowing as the I, because that's spelled AYIN, and it's discerned as fountain of youth, of life, of essence, the all-seeing eye. And then the lamed is...
And to see, and the eyeball.
Right.
And the lamed is a teacher, instructor, shepherd of light that will urge and goad you on.
So it's more than just,
And that is from the root, Allah. It means to ascend.
Yes. And
it's to ascend.
And then go to ascend. But ascend also means to be burnt up and consumed as a sacrificial offering. That's why we're in the burn right now.
Right, and I think we've already covered that.
We already did.
I don't want to go back.
So we're in the Allah, which means you are every day you're incrementally gathering pieces of the burn, that at the end of this journey, when you become Father, you're fully consumed as an ash heap.
Right, and so it's a offering of smoke. Because you're burning self.
Yes,
the daily sacrifice is what was connected to it. So the daily sacrifice is burning up our beast ego.
It's called the friendship offering and the love offering.
Yep.
Yes, because that's what you're doing. You're gathering love.
Yep.
And these are the wages. So now my wages.
Or your reward.
Your reward. Now your reward is before you.
Yeah.
So these ones are already completed, by the way, and they're coming with the reward. Now,
and that would make sense, because the lamed means before you, and so it's a teaching shepherd that will show up.
And their reward is the measure that they are. Right. They are the reward. They are the full-blown Merkabahs.
Right.
They are resonating to the completion of one that is 44'd, or through the 22. That's where the rendering down to 222 renders down to the 144, right?
The two teachings that have become one, the 22 and the 22 are now 44, 144.
Absolutely.
As the quadrated one.
Which is only a frequency.
Yep.
Okay. So these are before you now, and this is now before you as what? As the face, and they are now the lameds. They are now the light before you.
The teaching shepherds that come to instruct you.
Right.
They are going to bring you the power of love. If you grasp a hold of and bend yourself to the pay, because it's Kaf pay, the teachings of from the mouth that speak forth revelation.
Right. So these are the ones that are speaking light, love, and truth, and so you can grasp it. They're going to be breaking it down, and then every one called the completed. Right. These are completed the whole. Every one that is not speckled. Now they're talking. Now this goes two ways. We're going macro, micro.
They've grasped the teachings of light.
They've grasped the teachings,
and they've been filled up with it.
Right.
Hence why they're whole.
But now they're dividing. They're dividing now. So we're going macro and micro, right? So now they are dividing up between the speckled and the spotted. But again, that's not really what it's saying. They're saying that everyone that is, right, is what? Not.
That is really interesting, because that
is 369, and that is the word for ayin. Can you go into it? The spelling of it actually is the spelling of the letter ayin.
No.
What?
No, it's not.
369.
It's not. Ayin is spelled Ayin Yod Nun. This is the word that means not to be nothing.
But it's the spelling of the word. Go into the 369.
I know, through the transliteration.
Through the transliteration, yes.
So the transliteration, it will sound very similar, but it's not the same.
But it's coded.
But it's interesting, because it does take you to the fact that you are becoming nothing. It's the 0 point that you've always said.
It simply is encoded that this is the journey in the
to
power
be nothing.
Of 369. And then, so again, when you complete this, you're going to turn this and flip this, and you will be 963. This is only showing you, they're finding out the ones that have the vision, that have risen in the earth through mother and father, that are walking in humility and meekness. So this is what's they're separating out the speckled and the spotted.
Right, and so this to be nothing.
Yes.
To be a nothing. This is everything that you've talked about, and the 369 has to do with the etheric side of 0 point energy, and it's the 2 noons, the
Yeah.
2 cherubim that are sitting on the ark
Yes.
that have overcome flesh.
Yes.
The 2 spiritual paths for the 222.
Absolutely. So again, just spirit coded.
Yep.
And
Speckled and spotted.
Speckled and spotted. And I haven't seen a spelling like that for the 369. I haven't. That's the only spelling I've ever seen like that for that. So this is
Yeah, well, usually it's just the Aleph Yod fallen noon.
right.
But to have two double
risen
noons
with a vav on it to say that
so you're now in meekness.
you're now in meekness, and so
but now you have the resurrected flesh. You have flesh that is changed to incorruptible flesh.
right.
That's big.
Right.
Activation of the Merkaba, the earth, the etheric side.
Right. And so spotted isn't bad. Spotted is we can go into spotted.
Do you want to look at speckled? Or
yeah, go into speckled and spotted, sure.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, to be marked.
So now these are marked.
To mark.
So this is what they're doing, is they're coming in to see and to mark people with the mark of completion. This is the mark of
and it's telling you how to do it.
Yeah.
You got to take the spiritual path. You have to compress light within in the circle of time by that which was once hidden, esoteric, that is now being revealed, which is what we're showing everybody. If you go through the door of your inward man.
Yes.
And you'll find what you need to deliver yourself.
And that's the same as entering your own ark. That's what we're showing.
The ark of the heart.
Everything about this is tabnith. It's the tav and the tav and the building pattern between that you're building mother, you're building father through the process of mother's bitter. That's what we're doing. And so this is to become marked. And the mark isn't necessarily, the mark is the essence of light. It's not a mark per se. It's when it's a mark on your hand because it's through the work of your hands that you're doing this.
Right.
And it's healing the head wound.
Right. So the yod is also the work and deed of the hand in the Paleo Hebrew. I just pulled up Tabnith so people could see it.
So this is...
So it's one who is built, Ben, a son that is built, which is just a frequency, that have done the work and deed of the hand, and then it's the 2 twin covenants.
Yeah, so, and this is what heals the head wound. That's why they say it'll be a mark on the hand and the forehead. I'm sorry, it's not going to be that, unless it'll be, their hands will be illuminated and their face will be illuminated. So if that's a mark, absolutely. Their mark will be a full acclamation of ingathering and fully consumed as light. They will be marked in the resonance frequency. They may have a body that shows up on Earth, I don't know, that is marked in a fashion so people will know, but the mark is going to be of the essence of plasma.
Absolutely.
So these ones, so that's what's going on right there. So these are now the ones that are coming in, looking for the 3, 6, and the 9 so they can turn them to the 9, 6, 3. They're going to mark them and then go into spotted.
Okay. Tala. To cover with pieces.
To cover with the pieces. Right. But the pieces are the pieces of mother and father, the garments.
And that just goes to show you, you're going to be wrestling.
Yep.
Right? You're going to be wrestling with choices, either the head of the snake that you're going to have to keep wrestling with, or you're going to be pierced, coming to a teacher of light that will instruct the way of your heart in the way of one.
Right. So they're going to be showing the pieces that they're going to have to wrestle, the mother and father components.
Exactly.
And depending on where they are, they're going to have to choose to see how they and where they are. But at least it'll be a starting point for them to wrestle through to say, oh, this is where I'm supposed to be going and this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Well, and this tet is spelled tet yod tet and tet yod tav. So you have the twin tets that you have to wrestle so that you can show that you wrestled with the vision and was marked tav with the frequency change of love. That tet is big.
Right.
Because it's a progression of wrestling. And this one, and because it's got a vav, it means, so you've got the humility of mother, and you've connected at the heart level.
Right.
Goats.
So now going to the goats. My computer is so slow.
That's interesting. Isn't that the same? No, never mind. I was thinking that's a zadi. I was going to say it was a tree, but it's not. She-goat.
So this is the knowing, what this is, this goat.
To be strong.
This is the knowing of the sword. This is the completed knowing of intimacy's ingathering that has now produced the measure of. You've already gone through mother's plow, the zayin, and so you've gone through the plow,
and the sword,
and now you're the sword.
Right. So first pass through is the plow that breaks up the fallow ground, and then the father is the sword that cuts off, which is no longer useful for you.
Right.
And then you can see it's got the diamond above, which means quadration, which is the gift from God, and Bet, they have built this.
Yeah.
Yod Mem, they are of the sea, they are of Asherah. That's really great. And again, the eye, it's always about the eye, seeing, knowing, fountain.
Yeah, and this is what I'm trying to establish.
Fountain of living waters.
I wouldn't have gone into this verse. I went in a little premature, and I know we're taking some time on it, but the whole purpose of the garden is to ingather the ayin. The ayin was removed. It was swallowed somewhere.
Right, so you didn't have the ability to see or know.
You didn't, and because you have to go through the experience.
To gather your pieces.
To gather the ayin again, and that's what's revealed again. It's not it is twisted, but it's really, you've wound together the DNA correctly, and now you're revealed as the dark. It's not wicked. You're now knowing what is dark through the journey of white, and so that's the God now is given to you. But we're gonna get to that. And so now,
to be warm. That's interesting. To be sunburnt.
Right.
Right, and we were just talking about, what was it? The burning.
Right. And then we know that's even potash, or the pot shard is, right? It's the itch of the burn of the sun, which is directly connected to the sun, right? It's that dynamic.
Yep.
So what were you on right now?
I just pulled up the dark colored.
Okay. Wehum.
Yeah.
So now we're into Wehum.
We just did it.
Okay, and now.
So again, we're talking about those that are set apart.
Right. Now we're into the lambs.
That have been completed in their journey of the waters.
Right.
Yep, lambs. Apparently by transposition for Kabesh.
My computer.
Oh, you know what? They never understand. So they translate things and they don't understand. So it's talking about to dominate a ram, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they said that they moved the letters around. It was a transposition, but that isn't totally intentional. Because it's shuv.
Yeah.
It's shuv. That turn to love.
Right.
Grasp a hold of the language. Kaf pei, where you bend yourself to it, where you're filled up because you have your cup turned upright. You're meaning to be filled. And then it's through the fire. And this is now through the king. But it's also the same principle as the shuv, the turning as if married. You're already married. And you've built it, Bet Tov, from the 222.
Right.
To become Yam, of the sea, Asherah.
Right.
But then it was stolen. Ganub.
And then that was stolen. Right. And it's interesting because even on the next
Oh my gosh.
For that lamb, if you even go to 3776, it's an u.
A U.
A U, an u.
3776.
Yeah, but that's the root for Rachel. That's what Rachel breaks down to. And so here we have this now. The lamb stole this. So it's kind of like you can see that it's connected.
So it's the hay.
Right.
The hay that was removed.
The hay that was removed.
So, and I think it's interesting too. So the word to steal, it has a vav.
Right.
So piercing of the heart.
Because it's based off of love.
So the heart was stolen.
The heart was stolen. The Bet Tov was stolen. We're going to get to that. So let's finish this first, and we're going to get, because the building template of love was removed from you.
It with me.
It's with me, right?
It with me, Hava,
right?
The breathing one that has desire to go through the Aleph Tov.
Yes,
to be empowered in love.
That's why I wanted to show that. So,
oh my gosh!
So what's coming in the end? It's with me. Hava is with me.
Right.
The breath is coming, and it's with me when I show up. That's what was pulled out of you from the beginning. The living fire, the breath of Isha, the hay of the breath of revelation is coming to marry you at the end.
Right. For those who have connected at the heart level that are going to be revealed as one.
Yes.
One love. through the Aleph Tav Yod.
Yes.
My goodness.
That's what's coming. So it's not the end.
Et T. And that's two Tavs that have become one.
Yes.
The twin covenants that have become
Et.
one, that have the power, means and direction to give love.
Yes. Love on both sides, fully completed in the center. Yeah,
the strong love.
Yeah, the strong love. You are now woven, because that's what was given in the beginning. The Bet Tov is the building of strong love. This is the establishment of strong love.
Right, so if we go back and we always tie it to Genesis 1:1, Bet Tov in the beginning.
Yeah.
Build by each your house.
How do you do it? So just to read, so
My gosh.
Tara, Rapha, you do it by healing the head wound,
Yep.
by remembering this, and then keeping humility as forward and front, and you're walking and having meekness revealed so you can see the revelation, behold the revelation, inhalation, exhalation, become the revelation, and in waiting anticipation for the end to approach so we can see the new beginning.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's go back now. We were at the word in Gan. We started with Gan. We just jumped to third, and I wanted to show you the theft of those two occurrences that tied. And we don't need to go into Rachel, but I can tell you that Rachel, they were strong love, and that's really what assisted Jacob to wrestle into Israel. Is that Laban was not a bad man. He did not want his daughters to go with a man that was Jacob.
Exactly.
He did not want his daughters that he brought up, because he had the teraphim in his house. He was teaching them, because that's what he did. He left to teach his other servants how to comprehend strong love.
And so the man that he was trying to teach for 14 years had still not gotten it.
So now, if it was my daughters, and I was, and this potential son-in-law came along, I would say, stay with me, my son.
Let me teach you the ways of
love. And I will
love.
teach you the way of love. So when you're with my daughter, you will be of the essence of our family, but you do not know the ways yet. You've left in arrogance and pride. You've shown up. And why wouldn't you want to stay here in the school of Qumran, really? And I will teach you the way, because it's a school of love. It's the higher elevation,
right,
in a parenthesis language.
Right.
But he was teaching them the way of love. And so when Jacob left,
well, you can see why there was so many problems.
Yes.
Because he didn't understand about the strong love, and why there was so much warring and faction, the separation between them, because Jacob hadn't been changed yet.
No.
So they've always blamed the wives.
Right.
Well, what was Jacob's role in it? He didn't know about unconditional love.
No.
Wow.
Yep.